So hello everyone, once again welcome back to our YouTube platform, that is English Grammar and Literature World. Students, in our previous class we have completed total 21 questions from Subject-Verb Agreement, and today's class we are going to cover total 24 questions from Subject-Verb Agreement, and this class will be the second part of our complete marathon class Subject-Verb Agreement. So if you are preparing for exams like SSC CGL, CHSL, MTS and other state competitive exams, then this class is going to be very important and crucial for you. Let's begin today's class. Look at the first question. The president as well as the members dash come. So now in this sentence, many students get confused because they see the members and which is plural. Okay, and immediately think the verb should be plural. But that is a trap. The real subject of the sentence, that is the president. Actually, here are two subjects. The president is the first subject and the member is the second subject. Now the question is, with which subject the verb will agree? Is it the president or is it the members? So when you see phrases like as well as, along with, together with, in addition to, just simply ignore these phrases. Only focus the first subject of the sentence. So here the first subject, that is the president. So the president is singular. The verb should be singular. Okay. So the president as well as the members has come. So option B, has, is the correct answer. Understand? So next one, not only the principal but also the teachers dash playing the match. So here the subject are connected by the structure, that is not only and but also. So this is very important rule in subject-verb agreement. In such cases the verb does not depend on the first subject. Okay, so here the first subject, that is the principal. So the role of the first subject is totally vacant. So just you have to focus on the second subject, because the phrases like not only dot dot but also, either dot dot or neither dot dot nor always agrees with the closest subject. Okay, so here not only the principal but also the teachers dash playing the match. So here the verb agrees with the closest subject, and that is the teachers. So here the teachers is the plural form. Okay, plural. So the verb should be plural. So the teachers are playing. Okay, so the correct answer is option C, that is are. Understand? Next, we each dash our duty towards our nation. So students, I have already told you that each always takes singular verb when each treats as a subject. But first of all, you have to identify which one is subject. Is it each or is it we? So look, here each is not the subject. The subject, that is we. Okay, we is the subject. So here we suggest plural. So the verb should be plural. That means we each have a duty towards our nation. Okay, so the correct answer is option A, that is have. Next, so students, this is our official Telegram channel. So you can join, simply scan this QR code or through the link which is given in description to get free PDFs and daily quizzes. Okay, next, he and she dash present in the function. Here in this sentence we have two subjects, that is he and she. Okay, so the two subjects are joined by the conjunction and. So when two or more subjects are connected by conjunction and, they form a plural subject. Once the subject become plural, the verb must be plural. So here he and she form a plural subject. So the subject agrees with plural verb, and that is where. He and she were present in the function. So option C, where, is the correct answer. Next, most of the persons dash dishonest. Here the key phrase, that is most of the persons. Okay. So first identify the noun. So here the noun, that is persons. So this is a plural countable noun. Okay. So after most of the, you have to focus the subject part, that is persons, and persons suggest countable noun. Okay. So person suggests countable noun, so the verb should be plural. So here most of the persons are dishonest. So option D, R, is the correct answer. Here most of the milk dash impure. Milk, here milk is uncountable. Uncountable noun. So the verb should be singular. Okay. So most of the milk is impure. So option A, is the correct answer. Next, most of the sugar wet with water. So tell me the answer. Which one is correct? Is it are, is it is, it is where, and is it have? So look, most of the sugar. So here sugar is uncountable noun. You cannot count sugar. The verb deals with singular subject. So here option B, is the correct answer. So most of the sugar is wet with water. Okay. Next, about half of the students. So look, the phrase about half of the. So here the subject, that is the students, is given, and the students suggest plural form. Okay. So the verb should be plural, and that is about half of the students are present there. So option C, R, is the correct answer. Next, half of the land dash cultivated and half was uncultivated. Now you have to identify the subject verb. So here the subject, that is the land. Okay. So land is uncountable noun. Uncountable noun. So the verb should be singular. If the subject or if the noun is countable, then the verb should be plural. We have to take a singular verb. Okay. So here half of the land was cultivated and half was uncultivated. So option D, was, is the correct answer. Next, there dash 10 students in the class. So first of all, you have to identify which one is subject. Is it there or is it 10 students? So look, there is introductory subject. Okay, not the main subject or not the key subject. So you have to identify the key subject. So that is 10 students. Okay. So the verb agrees with key subject. So 10 students is plural. The verb should be plural. So there are 10 students in the class. So option A, R, is the correct answer. Next, there dash a girl in the room. So here the is a introductory subject. So not the main subject. The main subject, that is a girl. Okay. So a girl suggests singular. So the verb should be singular. So there is a girl in the room. So option C, is the correct answer. Next, knowledge dash power. So here the subject part, that is knowledge. What's like information? What's like advice? Wisdom? Knowledge? Always treated as a singular subject. Singular subject. Okay. So knowledge suggests singular. So the verb should be singular. That means knowledge is power. Okay. So option B, is the correct answer. Next, his behavior dash not proper. So also here behavior is the subject. So behavior is always treated as singular subject. So the verb will be singular. So that means his behavior was not proper. So option C, was, is the correct answer. Next, the following dash the new prices of the items. So this one is very crucial. Okay, let's understand this sentence carefully. So because the following often confuses students. The subject here is the following, but this expression does not have a fixed number. Okay, is it singular or plural? So can you tell me the following is singular or plural? You cannot identify. So this number depends on what comes after. Okay, so we have to focus on the last part. We have to focus the new prices. Here the subject part, that is new prices. So you have to just focus the prices part. So here prices suggest plural form. Okay, so the subject, the following agrees with plural verb. Okay, so the following are the new prices of the items. So here option B, R is the correct answer, not was and not is. Okay, so next one, that is the following dash the summary of the decisions held in the meeting. So again the sentence begins with the phrase that is the following, so which can be tricky. As we discussed earlier, the following does not decide the verb. We must look at what comes after it. Okay, so we must look the last part, the main noun, that is the summary. Okay, subject part, and of the decision is the external part. Just focus on the main subject, that is summary. So summary suggests singular noun. Okay, so the subject, the following agrees with singular verb. The following is the summary of the decision held in the meeting. So option A is the correct answer. Next, man after man dash coming there. So the structure man after man may look plural because the word man is repeated, but actually it does not function as a normal plural subject. So you have to be very careful. Expressions like man after man, expression like day after day, year after year, or you can say time after time, are treated as singular. Okay, because they express a continuous sequence of one unit at a time, not a group. So here man after man always treated as singular subject. So the subject deals with a singular verb. So man after man was coming there. So option C, was, is the correct answer. Next, this is the repeated version of the first one. So tell me the right answer. Ship after ship dash arriving regularly. So I have already told you. So here the correct answer is. Ship after ship is arriving regularly. So option C, is the correct answer. Next, 1 month after another dash passed. Obviously 1 month after another is treated as singular noun. Okay, so the noun agrees with singular verb. So 1 month after another has passed. Option B, has, is the correct answer. Next, my shoes dash new. So here the subject, that is my shoes, and shoes is the plural noun. Okay, words like spectacles, words like scissors, words like trousers, always treated as a plural subject. Okay, so here my shoes is a plural noun, so it takes a plural verb, that is are. My shoes are new. So here option A, are, is the correct answer. Her spectacles. So tell me the right answer. So here spectacle suggests plural form. So the verb should be plural. That means her spectacles are beautiful. So option C, are, is the correct answer. Only a pair of shoes. Now this one is very crucial. Generally people get confused. Here the subject shoes is plural, so the verb should be plural. No, that's totally wrong. Here the subject, that is a pair. So a pair suggests a single unit. Okay, so a pair directly agrees with singular verb. Okay, so only a pair of shoes is required. That means option C, is the correct answer, not where and not are. Next, swimming dash a good exercise. So where the subject of the sentence, that is swimming. So now here swimming is not used as an action verb, so it is used a gerund. Okay, as a gerund. So a gerund used as a subject is always treated as singular. Understand? So gerund is always treated as singular. So now the verb should be singular. So swimming is a good exercise. So option C, is the correct answer. Next one is, that is how to start it dash a big question. Tell me the right answer of the questions. So in this sentence the subject is how to start. So now this is not a normal noun, it is an infinitive phrase. So it is an infinitive phrase. An infinitive phrase used as a subject is always treated as singular. So, how to start it is a big question. So, option C is the correct answer. Next, I wish I dash a king. So, what is the right answer? You tell me in the comment section. Is it M? Is it was? It is where? Is it B? Okay. So, students, here are total 24 questions with explanation. So, that's all for today. Keep reading, keep writing, and keep watching English Grammar and Literature World. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching.